Alright, welcome back. Welcome to the very first video of proper noob gaming. And as you can see, it's my very first video. I'm actually kind of nervous. It's my first time doing any type of gaming at all. And we're going to start off with Car Mechanic Simulator 2018, and we're going to look at this completely ruined BMW M4 GTS. You can know it's a GTS because it has the proper wheels, and you can see it actually says GTS on the name tag. What you don't know is this actually is a mod, and this is a mod that I've actually edited to have a supercharged V8. Normally when you get this, you'll have like a normal straight 6 carbureted piece of crap engine which has about 150 horsepower. This is actually making it about 500, and we're gonna try and double that by the end of this. So as you can see, we got the car on lift number 3, and we're just gonna go ahead and get all of the small things out of the way, like get this interior detailed, and we're gonna go ahead and get this done now, and then we're gonna restore the bodywork by using the welder, which you'll see in a few moments. As you can see, by doing the details, the interior is up to 100% condition, and that's all it takes basically. So yeah, we're just gonna put that aside. You can check I have a battery lying on charge at the moment. Ow. Okay, get the welder and let's go for it. The video is sped up for you to enjoy it a little bit faster instead of me panning and going on over and over and over again on nonsense. Okay, so we're just taking up all of the body panels, get everything basically like new, and let's get all of the other panels. I guess we can start with something completely different. So yeah, you see, get all the windows out, trunk lid, spoiler, tail lights, bumper, everything. Okay, let's just get this thing up. We have to do it more than once, and we get it up. You can see we can just strip off the drive shaft, even though because the mod, you can see it's not centered. Some may find this maybe annoying, but I just don't care. It's a game at the end of the day. So just remove the gearbox and get the engine block out of the way. Now, this step is not necessary. You can do it with the engine out, but I just chose to do it for the fun of it. Okay, bring the car back down and let's get the engine crane, which is right here, and let's pull the sucker out. Alright, get all of the other small things out of the engine bay compartment, and I have no idea why I'm taking out one rubber bushing from inside the engine bay, but I did it anyway. Now it's time to create a new engine. We're actually at the engine crane. We're going to look for supercharged V8, which is right here. Supercharged V8. Now we're going to go through and purchase all of the V8 components. Now I've been playing this game for a while, so I know exactly what's going on where. Now if for easier preference, you just go and search in for V8 and look for the specific V8 that you want. But I just went ahead and went through everything that I've seen that I know that is required, and I'm only going to be using performance parts where possible. I want the most out of this engine. As you can see, it's going through all the other steps more and more, and while instead of going just for engine components, I'm going through whatever I can find at this point in time. So I know everything will be done 100%, and it'll be ready just to be installed, so I don't go back and forth all the time. I may make some purchases that are unnecessary, which you'll see, which I don't end up using, but you never know. When it comes to it, you might be able to use it for next time. We're just going through everything, buying according to whatever else we need. As you can see, I'm making sure I have everything that's necessary, whether it's 2 of each or 5 of each or 6 of each, whichever it is. Now this is a V8. Now we're going to be looking for 8 pistons, 8 spark plugs, 8 ignition coils, stuff like that. Okay, so we're going through all the spark plugs now. You can see there's 8 spark plugs, and we're looking for the throttle body for the V8 throttle engine. So yeah, we're gonna go for that. Now we're gonna go through the entire thing of whatever else we can find. As you can see, I bought the air filter. Now I'm just going for the air filter cover and the base, and I'm going to get the brakes and everything done all at the same time while I'm at it. And cam gears, we need 4 of those. What else are we looking at? Clips for the air filter, which I might or may not end up using. crankshaft bearings, crankshaft, pulleys, the block itself. There's no point in having an engine. Yeah, you need the red V8 covers A and B for each side to tell the difference. A is plain, B has the oil filter, no, oil oil filler cap that's inside, so that's the difference. You're looking for flywheels and everything else. I'm not gonna go for dedicated suspension components at this point because you can get away with repairing them if your skill is high enough. Don't forget your oil filter and your oil pan. Now you're looking for rings. You need 8 rings of those. Radiator, brake disc, wheel hubs, rod caps. You need the bearings included. Now the belts are specific to the specific engine. You need the serpentine belt A for V8, and you need the supercharger belt for the V8. Don't forget a starter. Yeah, I just purchased the wrong one, so sue me. Supercharger belt, you need timing belts, timing chain cover, water pump, which you'll find now, water pump V8, water pump pulley, wheel bearings, and wheel caps. That I have plenty of those. Now we're just gonna get started with this engine, starting with the block and crankshaft. Get everything else, the bottom end sorted out. Pistons, you can just see I'm just going through it quick and fast. Pistons with the rings. Yeah, I just use to spam the enter button on the keyboard to get it done. You don't have to use the mouse all the time. Keyboard enter, and it's done. Oil filters in, heads on, the 6 bolts, which normally is supposed to be done in specific manners, but it's a game, like I said, just don't hold me to it. Okay, you're gonna get the spark plugs in. Like I said, there's no specific order as to way you do this. It's just go ahead and do it the way you want to. Flywheels in, performance flywheel, performance exhaust, manifold, head, whatever you want to call it. Okay, now I've got the other side of the manifold, left hand side, right hand side, whichever it is. Yeah, that'll be left hand side, yeah. So yeah, we finish up the spark plugs. And then we go ahead and do the camshafts. So yeah, first cam, second cam, the cam gears at the same time. Same goes for the other side. And I install the supercharger intake. While I'm at it, I just do the timing belts and the timing cover. It's a big piece of metal, but I don't know why it's only being held on by 4 bolts. Now it's just the idle rollers. There's no amount you can go. It's best you always have a little bit extra. They're cheap, just have extras, just keep it on hand. Sometimes it just better to have extras so you know which is one's which. I'm just putting in these ones here now, the pulleys, everything else like that. Now the alternator, I have 2 of those. I just put it in. Now I'm just putting in the covers. You can see I'm going to install the supercharger now. Just get that in. I can put in the other belts, and then I can finish up with the tensioner and the remaining pulleys. Yeah, so just get that done. Now the head covers, like I said, you can see the difference between the two. The rails, fuel rails, throttle body, and the ignition coils. Just making sure it is the performance ones and not just regular ones. And the coil cover, that's taken care of. That's the entire left hand side of the engine done. Now to do the right hand side, and just bolt it down. Normally use a cross pattern, but like I said, 3rd time now, it's a game, just go for it. And that's it. Fuel filter, performance fuel filter. And this part is not necessary to do it out of the car, but you can do it. It's not a big deal. And don't forget a normal clutch release bearing. Even though these are supposed to be automatics, yeah, you got a clutch, do it. Now we're just going to put in all of these rod caps and the crankshaft bearing. Crankshaft big, that'll be the mains, big ends as normally known. So yeah, there's 3 of these and there's 8 rod caps. Just go for it, take your time and make sure it is fine. That's what I normally will say if you work in a normal engine, but it's not. and your oil pan. Suppose usually, as you'll be looking at it in reality, there will be have bolts all around, and these are just 6. So to keep it simple, we're gonna take this engine off this engine bay off this engine stand and put it into the car right now, and put that away so it's not walking into it all the time, which I normally do. And this is where I normally take a break right now, so just look at. Yep. Now it's the time that everyone's been waiting for. Most probably we'll get the entire suspension removed and thrown away. No, we're not going to throw it away. We're going to take it over to our big ass workbench, and we're going to repair whatever we can to save us some money, and saves us the time of looking through each and every part of the catalog to look for the correct components. 95% of these items can be repaired. It's just a matter of the shocks, tie rod ends, all stuff like these things that are non-repairable that you cannot do. So that's just easily replaceable, and in the game it's quite cheap. Make sure that you do not forget your rubber bushings. These things, I cannot imagine how many times I actually forgot these things, and when I've been looking for it is a pain. And I'm talking about, these are the days of Car Mechanic Simulator 2015, and it was just such a pain to look for, and you have to work and look, and it was just, I couldn't manage it all. So yeah, we're just getting the shocks and everything out, get all his knuckles out, and it's best sometimes you can use the notes feature on this. I generally don't. For these small components, I just look for whatever is on the car, and then I just get replacements for it. Front suspension's done. Now we're going to move on to the rear wheels, and this is the more complicated suspension. It's not the leaf spring, it's independent. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of bushings involved, a lot of parts involved, and one small mishap, you forget it, you're going to have to go back to it and look for the one component. Sometimes they'll be hidden in that small rubber bushing which you'll see just now, and thereafter the remainder will be able to be found. And so once you just get everything removed, and it's actually quite fast to get everything removed, and once you have everything that you need, it's just simple just to make sure that you get everything else done. There's that rubber bushing I've been telling you about. So yeah, we get that out, get the knuckle out, and we're going to start from the other side. Now while we're busy doing that, I just want to give you guys a little bit of backstory. I've been gaming not professionally at all. I don't consider myself a professional gamer. I don't consider myself doing this full time. Basically, this is just like a creative outlook for me. I do have another channel which I work with my own vehicle, which I will leave link in the description if you'd like to check that out. This will just be for me to just be as like a pastime for me. I don't intend to do this at a professional level. It's just for me to enjoy myself. Hence the name Proper Noob Gaming. It hasn't been something that I just wanted to really take off, but it has been something that I had given a lot of thought. So I've been playing this game, like I said, for a bit, and it's been really enjoyable. I've actually started this game, purchased it on my own, and done everything, and it actually was around lockdown 28. No, why am I saying that? It was lockdown last year, 2020, and that's when, before I did anything else, I just had nothing else to play, so I took and did that. So now you can see you got everything else that was repaired, and you can see how nice and shiny it is. So I'm just getting everything back in, and you'll notice that I will end up running out of small rubber bushes and big rubber bushes. So yeah, that's what I meant. You cannot have enough of these things. So the normal rubber bushing, we're just installing everything in, and we're gonna get everything else we can, whatever else is needed. If I need to purchase more, I just purchase the maximum amount that's possible, so I know I don't have to worry about it for the next time. You can see I'm almost out, so yeah. I like to tackle all the suspension components first, and then I'll do the brakes last, which is why you'll see me not doing the brake disc at this point. one component out of all of them did not get repaired. I'm absolutely shocked. While I'm at it, I'm going to just get the rear sway bar at the same time, and so in order to go back and forth with the same thing. I really hope this audio is coming around clear, so I don't make myself like a fool and have to redo this entire thing. I hope you guys can hear me clearly. If so, just leave some suggestions in the comment section down below for me to work on making this a much more enjoyable video to watch. Another thing you should be also on the lookout for is these small rear sway bar end links, as well as the wheel bearing that goes on the inside of the wheel hub on each side. Yeah, that's going to be a pain. If you forget that, something's going to be missing. You're going to go chasing it all the time. Now, most things I've noticed from the time I've been watching other YouTubers play this game is that they're doing the same thing what I'm doing, is that they've been playing it from the time they reach level 30, where you are allowed to do free, you buy your own vehicles and do everything. Otherwise it's a more tedious thing of doing the same tasks over and over again. But the best part about this game is that unlike 2015, it's not the same repetitive orders all the time. At least with this, as soon as you level up, it does have a bit of a story for you to be using whatever knowledge you do gain to work on an undisclosed or unpronounced scenario. So yeah, aside from that, let's just get this front suspension components done. There you notice that the inner tie rod ends aren't repairable, so you have to replace them. It's even in reality, if something's irreparable, it has to be replaced. There's no two ways about that. And that's what I advise to all of my people, all of my viewers, or anyone that needs any mechanical advice. I always advise them accordingly. So yeah, that's always the best policy. If it cannot be repaired, it's simple to be replaced. You can either go aftermarket or you can go OEM. The choice is all yours. It all depends on your budget, or it all depends on whatever you feel comfortable with. Now let's just get this left hand side taken care of. It will either be your driver's side or your passenger side, depending on which area of the world you live in. In where I am from, South Africa, we all drive right-hand drive cars, so this will be our passenger side. But in the game, it's the driver's end, so that's how I'm going to refer it to left and right. Just finish up to the outer tie rod end. That's basically a ball joint, what's the other words called. Now I'm just gonna put in the shocks with the springs. I haven't tried it if you do it while doing it in the car. I just use the tool that's provided and do the same for the next step. Okay, that's done. Now we're gonna go back to the car. You notice that E36, which is right there. I did a previous video which I absolutely butchered up completely. Like I said, proper noob gaming, you wouldn't be that without it. So I did that, and I have the footage of that. I may or may not upload it to the channel without any commentary, but let's see how things go. If this works out well, then you may see that video coming soon. There's something very special about that car that's lying in the back over there. That E36 also has the same engine which I had upgraded into this. You cannot have an M3 which doesn't have something of high power. So leaving aside, whenever you download any of these mods from the creators, these have these absolute most useless straight 6 3 carb engine. Now I've never seen a BMW with a 3 carb engine. Now that's absolute absurdity. That's just wrong. So having a V8 with some power and being supercharged, that doesn't really seem like a bad trade-off compared to me. Now I haven't seen a straight 6 turbo in this thing just yet. Until I am able to actually purchase the DLC for it, maybe it'll be there, who knows. But a supercharged V8 and an M4, I think it actually suits the car quite well. So I'm just getting all these brake components in right now: the ABS pump, ABS module, brake servo, and I'm going to take out the battery and put in a new one. I have the other one that's lying on charge right there, as you can see, so I'm just going to get that in right after this. get the radiator done, fans done, and intercooler all sorted out. Yes, there is an intercooler. Yes, most supercharged cars do require an intercooler, so I'm just put that in to just give some bit of an authentic feel. Battery in right now, and that's taken care of right now. That's basically it. What else? Now it's just gonna be the body panels, which should be a walk in the park right now, unless I am forgetting something. Yeah, I was wondering how long people actually noticed that I did forget that, and I've been rambling around about it for all this time. Okay, springs in, spring caps in, and that suspension is done. Now it's time to tackle brakes. Brake disc, brake pads, and calipers. Don't forget your pistons, and that's it. Brakes parts are done, and I'm not putting in tires just yet. I have something really special planned for that. This is an M4 GTS. You see, it does have the right set of wheels, but I'm gonna do something special, and because to give it a real feel, I want to make it, which you will see in a few moments, what I'm gonna do. I'll just finish up all these brake components right now, and don't forget the wheel cap. Right, now you can see I'm gonna go to the wheel section and get the right set of wheels, but I'm gonna make them in 19s, 0 offset. So now we're just gonna go to the paint booth, which is right here. Don't bother closing the door, it does it for you. And I'm gonna go and try and color match the correct shade of M4 GTS orange. So I'm just gonna play around with this, see something else to my liking, and change the camera angle so you can see how it looks. Yeah, it took me a bit of some time to actually figure out the right color shading that I wanted, as well as the finish. But in the end, I think I went with metallic on all of them. Yeah, metallic just looked better, and I went with just drop the brightness of it so it's just in your face all the time, and I just memorized the numbers of them, so I just made the edits. And so yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do all these at the same time. It would be so much better if you could actually do it all at one go, but you know, some simple small things that we couldn't really do. So yeah, that's 2 done. Now you can go for 3 and 4. And just the final one right now. Okay, and that's it. All 4 wheels are taken care of. They actually look quite good. And now, because we are making a high performance engine, and we're gonna take it onto the strip, I'm gonna put some slicks on it. I am gonna do an offset. Offset is gonna be 265, no, 245 in the front or 275 in the rear. You can see, we can pause the video right now. And while we're sorting out the wheels over here, I'm going to take them off it and going to balance the other ones at the same time. Now the wider wheels are going to go in the rear, the narrow wheels are going to go in the front. So more of an offset wheel stagger setup. Now while that's being done, I'm just going to get all of this taken care of. The final one's done, and then we're going to mount them onto the car. Okay, let's take this off and finish up the remaining 2 wheels. I should have edited this off, but you can see for yourself. This is what's happening. Okay, that's out, and the final one right now. Okay, taking that off. Now we're just gonna put these on. Then the wider wheel, like I said, goes in the rear. All 4 done. 5 bolts. Now 1 more. You see I got the wider one there. And now for the narrow wheel. Okay, we got the last one done, and now it's about time to get this car back on the ground. And now it's time to get all the components. You're gonna go for, because the mod, you're gonna go to the creator section and just type in M4. and the styling, whichever one you want, can be up to your taste, whichever one you'd like. I just went to the standard GTS style bumpers and fenders and grills. The grill I chose was a complete black grill, which is grill front end B, and just went to go ahead all of the remaining components, the fenders, doors, windows, everything of that sort. Now that is a GTS. I went for GTS style bonnet and with the smoked out headlights. I think it gives a bit more aggression, so you can just notice it. Then you have the OLED taillights, which is an absolute beauty to look at. And now we're gonna go ahead spoilers. You can go for the normal one, you can go for the GTS style, normal big end spoiler. There's so many options to choose from. It all depends on whatever styling you want. You can make it a normal M4, you can make it a Liberty Walk, Rocket Bunny, whichever styling you like. And there's no wrong way to do it. Now we're just gonna get all these components lined up, finished up, installed. And you can see that bumper looks so nice, especially with that red lip. It matches that roll cage so well. And engine cover. I know I took two, but I just decided to just put the first one that came up. And the irritating part is when it just goes into regular mode, just go back to an assembly mode. And now we're gonna start off from one side. Windows, mirrors, bumper. Like I said, yes, the irritating part. Trunk lid, and just the bumper in, OLED taillights. I wish it could have some sort of animation to it, but it's not too bad. And it is a GTS at the end of the day, so we're gonna put in the big spoiler. Some may find it annoying. That's just keeping to the authenticity to it. Now if you're wondering why I'm actually slurring and why I'm actually losing my words, it's actually 1 o'clock in the morning at me recording this audio, and it's on the 26th of March 2021. So I am absolutely buggered, really tired, working full time and having to do this at the same time as well. It does get a bit much, but hey, if you want it done properly, just do it. So what else am I missing? Yeah, fill in the oil now. And I did forget something. It was the little engine fender cover on the right hand side fender. When I'm going to be looking at the car status now, I'm going to go through it. I'm going to see that little blemish that is right there. So yeah, there's it. Lucky it's not something too big, so it's just quick and fast. It's right there. You see these wheels look absolutely amazing while they're on the car. Now just finish up the interior. Look for these best bucket racing seats that'll hug you if you're actually driving the car, and this M style steering wheel. Okay, now just going to install these in, and the steering wheel, which is done absolutely perfect right there. Now I'm going to move it into the spray booth and get it painted. This mix match Austin yellow is not really to my taste, so I'm going to go for M4 GTS matte black, which gives it that absolute highest level of aggression, as well as it looks so mean. It actually has the looks to match the amount of power this engine is going to be making. Now before we actually go ahead and put this car into the dyno, which is going to be doing now, pause this video, leave your comments down below as to how much power you think this engine is going to be producing right now on the dyno. So we're going to move it into the dyno right now, and before we go ahead, pause the video, leave your comments as to how much it's actually going to actually make. And while we can, we're just going to lay down, take a few pictures of this car, and just to savor the moment with this beast on the rollers. We're going to go ahead and start the dyno, and I'm going to keep quiet for a few seconds. I think there's a bit of a repeat in the video, but yeah, so I'm just going to keep quiet for a while, and let's get this thing on the dyno so you guys can see how much of power this thing is actually making. Let's go. 1017 horsepower, a gain of 74% by just doing complete performance mods. Now this is how an engine is supposed to be made. I've seen a couple of YouTubers, they just build these engines with just put in minimal power, and you want this to go to the max. You want this to be a track eating monster. Now that's what a supercharged V8 is supposed to be. And it has it, and at the end of the day, it's an M4 GTS. You want this thing to fly. You want this thing to be off the mark as much as it can be. So now I just tuned up the gearbox. I added that 7-speed DCT gearbox. We tuned it in, and now we're gonna push this car to the back to the front of the garage and a little hop, skip and jump and get this car on the track. Just look at this thing. We're not gonna admire it right now. We're just gonna go straight to the track. And you notice that there's a couple of cars in here. There's 4 in total. I just went to the black one, which is the one that we just did. While it's loading, I just want to let you guys know that I really do appreciate you watching this video. If you really enjoyed it, or if you enjoy this type of videos, or if you enjoyed the very first video of the channel, please take a second to subscribe and to like the video. It'll really mean a lot, so I can get more of these videos pushed out to you guys. Alright, now we're just gonna get this car ready and keep waiting. I was not expecting that, or that either. Top speed of 350 plus kilometers an hour, 0 to 100 in under in around 3 seconds. I can't really see it that much. I'm tired. So yeah, let's just admire this thing. So I just want to thank you guys for watching. This car is an absolute monster for 1000 horsepower M4 GTS. Now that is a proper number. And that little beauty in the back row, that darker yellow A36 M3, is another thing for another day. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed the very first channel of Proper Noob Gaming, and I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much again. Leave your comments down below, share with your friends and everything, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Thank you so much.